Well, I just sat down and Bear's trying to settle in here. Hello, Bear. I don't know, should I lower the camera so he's more in view? Hi, Bear. He's trying to figure out a way to get comfortable. He sits on the binder rings and stuff. I try to position him around to be more comfortable. He just wants to be where he knows he's in my way. And I think, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just glad to get his attention. And I've come to realize that anything that could be called a distraction or an annoyance is actually probably him expressing his love. So I need to take advantage of his being annoying and distracting and appreciate those moments. So when he's actually got the gumption to bother me, it may not be convenient, but it's one of those times when he's really willing to express some love or whatever. Or maybe he needs some love. So, you have to kind of remember the Tao does not conform to your wallet. I mean, well, that either, but your watch. You know, the Tao has a balance and it's always fluctuating. Right now it's Bear time. Anyway, but it's also you time. I'm trying to do these things. And boy, this book is so enlightening. I can't, I mean, I'm so impressed with it. It doesn't matter whether I wrote it or not. I think it's just really, it gives me pause for a think. There's so many things I'm thinking I want to tell you. And anyway, so much I could say to add to all this. Anyway, we're on number 32A. Right, Bear? Is that right, Bear? Oh, you scratch that spot. I know your spots. Yeah, I do. Yeah, over here. Actually, I've come to find that I thought he liked everything scratched, but I've actually come to realize he likes being rubbed. It's actually, he likes something sometimes gentler. He does not always want my fingernails. Yeah, makes it rub and supposed to use my fingernails. Some little things, trying to figure out what he likes. As opposed to what I think he likes, you know, that can be very different. Okay, 32A, we're reading the Tao of Taoism by me, Buddha Zhen, Shen-Lang, Richard Del Conner. And it's based upon the book of Changes by Lao Tzu, the Tao of Ching. And I use the word nature for the word Tao because it just makes more sense, and I think that it expresses the exact same thing. And the whole idea is to put it in words that you can understand. If you can't make sense of this, then it doesn't matter what I can call it. I can call it the Guba Guba, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make, if you don't relate to that word, then we can't communicate effectively. But nature, everybody in America at least relates to Mother Nature. So that's the Tao. I'm supplanting or utilizing that term to basically represent the nature. So everything that Lao Tzu says about the Tao being infinite means nature is infinite. Okay, so here we go. And what does he say in 32A? He says, the simple powers of nature are invisible yet omnipotent. Nature will always have the last word, eventually. Well, unfortunately, when Lao Tzu wrote that, he wasn't aware of radiation. I mean, actually, nature will have the last word. It'll just be millions of years from now, and then the radioactivity will be gone. So nature will actually still have the last word in that sense. But he wasn't really thinking that humans could do as much damage as they can now. But still, even if we do, even if we make this place radioactive eventually, like I say, millions of years from now, you know, it won't be radioactive, and who knows what will happen. Yeah, millions of years. But anyway, how do you interpret the simple powers of nature? That's the phrase, simple powers of nature. How do you interpret that? What does that mean to you? And are nature's powers really invisible? Are nature's powers really invisible? Invisible. What powers are we talking about? What are nature's powers? Let's see, where are we? And then, how can these invisible powers be utilized? Okay, so what's one of these invisible powers it has? Well, nature has the power of making things colder at night. At night, when it gets darker, it gets colder. And when the sun comes out, it gets warmer. So these are invisible powers. We don't see the oven. We don't see the hair dryer pointed at the earth. So these are invisible powers, we could say. So how could we, what did I say? How can they be utilized? Well, utilized or adapted to, like at night, we know that you might go to bed, you know, and you might feel great, but you know that by morning, you're going to need a couple blankets on you, or you're going to wake up in the middle of the night cold, boy, I've done that much times. That's very alarming. You know, I wake up, you know, fearing hypothermia and trying to, you know, you're shaking and you're trying to put on more things and pile more stuff on top of you. Only happened a few, well, maybe it happened a lot of times. I actually don't want to remember. But yeah, I know what it's like to be real cold. Real cold, and nothing you can do about it except pile stuff on you because, you know, you're in a car. And you go outside, it's colder. You got some heat on the inside, but it's still too cold. Anyway. How can these invisible powers be avoided? Hey, well, when I was talking about a house. Okay, but sorry, I shouldn't be leading you because you might have really interesting answers, and I may be leading you too much into reality. You may have some other really cool things to say here. Get this book and do it on your own, and you can have more time. Do it. Let's see. What do you think will happen to nature by mankind's mistakes? I already mentioned something, but seriously, you know, you should mention something. You got to show that you're not totally ignorant here. I mean, if the whole world's ignorant, you know, I mean, yes, well, actually, half the world is ignorant. Remember, the common man, 60 to 80% of all people, you know, is just a breeder and a worker. That's it. And that's what we are. We're a bunch of breeders and workers. This whole planet's 80% breeders and workers. That's it. And then the other 20% are something else. That's a whole different thing. And my spiritual theory illuminates this quite extensively. But yeah, in terms of the common man, they were just doing a thing. This is, what is this, March 23rd or something? We're in this coronavirus lockdown. And they just did a study, and they found out that 40% of all Republicans still think the coronavirus is not a big issue, and it's just going to go away with the spring and the heat, like Trump told them. 76% of all Democrats think it's a pandemic. So you see, that 40% of all the Republicans, which is half of all the Republicans, so that's about 25% of all people, we'll say. 25% of all these people are actually so dumb that they will be misled by a liar and a cheater. And even though he's a liar and a cheater, they will still be misled by him. That's how, I'm sorry, I used the word dumb, but, well, if you're smart, you know, well, people who call me smart use it as an insult. Oh, you're so smart. You're such a genius. That's seriously, people said that. Oscar even hurt my feelings a couple of times because he was having so much trouble understanding my stuff. He goes, well, you got to understand, you're a genius and you can understand it. And so it took me back a few times. And it's like, because I really think people can understand what I understand. I mean, I know sometimes I go a little far, but I really think that most of what I say is understandable. And when people can't keep up with me or understand it, I'm kind of like a little surprised, you know? It's like, well, don't you want to understand or can't, you know? It's hard for me to believe that people cannot understand. But I think that that's an understanding I need to develop because, as I said, 25% of all the people on this planet, half of the Trump supporters, are actually so dumb that they believe him when he's lying. And they believe dumb things that he says as a dumb liar. So they're all dumb. And we just need to recognize that, you know, if you're a certain intellectual level, you know, you need to know that you're at that level so you won't be so fooled. These people that are dumb need to know that, hey, I know I'm not very smart, so let me evaluate it. Let me talk to my friend. I got a smart friend. Every dumb person needs a smart friend. Almost got a tear back. That's a great idea. Every single dumb person out there, you need to find a smart friend. That's the only way out. So. Wow. I've always had a sympathy when I was a kid. I read the book Charlie, Flowers for Algernon, the book. Great book. Tore me apart. Still does. Look. But anyway, find a smart friend. But to finish this real quickly, what do you think will happen to nature by mankind's mistakes? I told you the way it's going, or we're going to obliterate this planet. I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but it's so easy. We could do it with just a couple of buttons. You just go boop, 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 boop. World's gone. 25 million years, gone. Boom, puff, gone. Radiation. Doesn't even matter where they hit the planet. It's going to pollute the atmosphere, pollute the whole world. Anyway, describe the Earth in 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, about a year. Sorry, get all choked up. But seriously, you dumb people, you know, I love you. I still want to help you. It doesn't matter whether you're my kids or whatever. You're humans. I like animals. This guy's an idiot. This Bear, you are so dumb. You are so dumb. You really are. I love you. I love you to death. I really do.
and dumb.